Like I always feel like, all right, we're welcome everyone. I am so excited about my guest today, Gregory Wright. Although we just always call him Greg, but he is just a fantastic person. And we were just talking about how we have known each other for 10 years, and or like maybe it's like 30 years in social media years. It's kind of, they're longer. So Greg, welcome. I'm so excited to connect with you here and kind of share some of your wisdom with my community, because you've got such a great approach to marketing. You really are so systematic and strategic about it. And I'm super excited to dive into like how you got started and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started.
Well, my business is basically I'm a media buyer. So I work as a marketing and advertising consultant, but as a media buyer, I double down on Facebook ads. When I first got started, I was thinking, I have to have this advertising agency. I thought, I need to know how to build websites. Well, I had to learn how to build websites because I bootstrapped everything. So I was the person wearing so many hats. So my website crashed. I learned how to make websites. And so it started with that, then SEO, and of course, social media management. I really started in this business, as I was mentioning to you earlier, was that it was you, Amy Porterfield, and Lewis Howes were like the first three that got me on my road or my pathway into the digital space.
Right. And by you, you mean me and Phyllis, because we were kind of like one package deal in our social media manager school, which you were an early joiner in there. But it's great to be connected, and just so fun to kind of see the journeys that we've all been through, because you've done some pivots. You've kind of changed from your focus. You were doing some more medical medical sales, and then you've kind of pivoted. So talk about like your pivots and how they've come about in your business, and what you've realized as you've made changes.
The pivots really come because either something happens internally or externally. It's just like obviously with the current scenario that we're in now. A lot of people had to pivot. They had to figure out something different. When you think back to the Panda update and going back to like the Google updates and the Google slaps, and everybody freaked out over the algorithm change. You know what? People had to pivot. Okay, so it's just being able to stay abreast of things. And I started off, and I still have my medical business. And what I did was I had to figure out how to use the social platform to grow that business. And the more I got involved with the social side, aka the advertising and the marketing side, it really then kind of led more towards my agency as my predominant thing. And I still use it to help drive my lead acquisition, client acquisition and lead acquisition for my medical business. So I still have the medical business.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how I led to a pivot. And there's probably going to be a pivot coming in the next, a week or two or 100 years.
Who knows? Exactly. I think it's one big constant pivot, right?
Oh yeah.
So what, I want to talk a little bit and dive into your kind of philosophy around Facebook ads, and because you kind of only take certain types of clients when you're working with you really focus in on a certain type of client, but you also kind of build out their whole marketing funnel from a really high level strategic way. Tell us a little bit about how you kind of choose your clients, or how they maybe choose you. If you're kind of going after clients, you probably are getting a lot of referrals too. But how is that growing? And then how are you approaching the marketing, at that high level?
So I do client acquisition in a way of trying to find out who do I want to work with. I wake up and I go, okay, if I didn't get paid and I wanted to do this, if I didn't get paid at all, what would I do and who would I work with? And if I can get them results. So I figure out who's going to be my ideal person. So somebody who's already advertising, somebody actually already has gas in the car's running, there's stuff, and it's already running downhill. They already have a proven system. So for me, what I do, that's what I focus on. But in the early days, there's no way that I could help get somebody results because I was just brand new. Even though I had a sales job that I've done, that really didn't translate into this to be able to say, here's my proof source of the things I do. So I pretty much will look for, the whale, right? So Moby Dick out
Mm-hmm.
there, I'm Captain Ahab. So I have to have content that is attracting, you hear some people.
Oops, what happened? Oh, shoot. Did he leave? Greg, come back. Did I do something? I don't know. All right, we'll just here he comes. Just a second. We're going to get you added. Hold on. Okay. There you are. I was like, whoa, hello.
I'm not going to mention names of companies, but the internet service provider in this area has not been the best. So we're going there. Gosh. But we also at Testament, we also could be having issues because of the wildfires, because there's one about 25 miles to the west of me, and there's another one that's about 23 miles to the east of me, and we get all the ash coming in on us. So wherever the heck I was, if I get bounced off again, just be patient.
I'll just kind of
You do a song and dance until Greg gets back on.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of how I track my clients is I try to put value that's going to be helpful to their circumstance. And my early days of sales, period, you're always taught features and benefits of a product or a service, but it's really what's the circumstance that client is in. And so therefore my marketing philosophy is, can I help them in their circumstance, and can I help them alleviate that? So if I can help them alleviate that and I show them how to do it and basically say, hey, here's how you do it. And they go, wow, cool. They try it themselves. They probably don't get the results. Then they come to me. So therefore it's more like I help them by helping them. And I don't know about your age, but Get Smart, not the Steve, whatever his name is, not the 2000 and something version of Get Smart.
The Steve Carell version.
Steve
Yeah.
Carell, thank you. Senior moment. I can't remember her name. But the Adam, the one Don Adams one back in the day. It's the old help them by helping them trick. And I learned that from my gurus and my mentors that I've paid for, masterminds to be a part of. So I've grown my philosophy from really getting in front of other folks, learning from other masterminds, learning from people. There's a gentleman, his name is David Milton. He's a copywriter. He was like he's part of one of the masterminds I'm in. I met David. He helped me for free. And I was so amazed, like, oh, wow, he's giving me all this free advice. I went to a live event when we would meet live, and I was amazed to meet this gentleman. He's like one of my friends to this day, so even though I'm mad that Stanford beat Pitt in football, but he rubs it in every time he gets a chance. So.
Yeah. And that is one thing that you're also focused on. And I think that it's so important as well, is really kind of studying copywriting and knowing, good formulas for writing ads, because that is the first, connection to people. That's the hook that's going to get people to click, that then gets them to convert, that, so there's just a process with that you need to kind of watch, and you're really tapped into analytics too, because analytics is huge when you're running ads. You've got to get the client's results. That's such a big thing. So, kind of being able to do those two things is really key with having a successful agency. So
yes.
Awesome. So tell us something that you are, what is something that you love about working for yourself?
Well, I can trip over my own, socks on the way to the office, and that's like a 10-second. If it's a 10-second commute, but it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, because you really you're a hunter. You have to go out and basically kill, eat what you kill. So you don't have it's high wire act. There's no safety nets. You have to go out and be on your own. But it's also very fulfilling and rewarding, because there's been days where I said, I'm only choosing to work between 9 and noon on Monday through Friday, and then I'm working on other things. Now, I had this conversation with somebody else. In my mind, I'm always working 24/7 because my mind is always on, like my clients or something. But I might not physically be sitting here coding crap or sitting at the computer, but I'm thinking about something. And as a matter of fact, I have a potential new client coming on board who is in the fitness space. And one of my associates that I recently hired a couple months ago, she's all excited because her boyfriend is a fitness trainer. And I said, well, we should be working on a program for him, but okay, whatever, All right. So now he's got competition. So now he's
right. You're going to boost up this, up his business.
Exactly. So
then everyone will need to be working with you. So that's good.
But it is what, like you said, working for yourself
Yeah.
it's a good thing and a bad thing because you have to be
Right.
totally accountable for your time. You can't like think, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll get that tomorrow.
Right.
I've lost deals because I was like, oh, I'll send that quote out tomorrow. It's after 5 o'clock. And then we want somebody else. And it was like, that was only like within 4 hours or something like that. So you kind of have to jump on it, but be you. Don't change yourself. Just be you.
Exactly. And that's what I love too, is that you can be you, because you can be, you can choose who you want to work with. But you do have to hustle, so that's a piece of it. So for sure.
I think one of the other fun things is you get to tell somebody, like if you were working for company A, you can't tell a client to go take a flying leap off a bridge somewhere. And I'm keeping it nice. But when you are for yourself, you can tell them to go take a flying, because I've done that. And, I've done it in a very, in a politically correct and a nice way. It's like, no, we're not the right person, but I think somebody else can help you. And let me give you their number.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing as well. You can choose all of a sudden, they seem like they're going okay in the first part, and then all of a sudden you realize they've got the little client crazy happening, and but that's good. So what about what is the thing that you're most proud of in your business? What is something that, when you think back on your career here, what's something you're proud of?
Developing others, I think, because when I can get either a client and or an associate can actually repeat back the processes that they didn't know 4 or 5 weeks ago or something like that, and they can actually repeat it back to you and they can internalize it. That's enjoyable. Like my mom, my family, all teachers. My dad, engineer, mom, teacher. All of her siblings, pretty much teachers. So technically, I come from a long line of teachers, and so that's kind of like my archetype. Is I'm a really good teacher, and I learn. And I teach. And when somebody can kind of, regurgitate or, articulate back what you've been saying to them, right, and they're internalizing it, and they act like, oh my God, here's this epiphany. And you're going, I've been telling you that 1,000 times. Okay, good. You finally got it. So that's enjoyable. So I like personal development and grooming other people. And recently I took on somebody, Justice, and Justice is Pirelli. If she watches this later, I'm giving her a shout out. She was scared when she first came on board, but today she had a client meeting. She flying solo, had a client meeting, and she came back and said, well, I told him this, and this. And I'm going, do you just listen to yourself? Because you just said everything like two months ago. You didn't even know what you just told me that you were giving. So awesome. That to me was like really, so I like really helping develop people, but I also have a passion for helping small businesses succeed. Yeah. Well, how do they succeed? They have to know how to advertise. And I see so much RBM, real bad marketing, that people are doing. And therefore it's like, I grew up in the Philadelphia area, actually New Jersey, and John Watermaker is a famous retailer and advertiser, and basically said, half my budget is wasted. I just don't know which half of it is. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I can help with the clients, and I help help my clients know how to actually, make a profitable ad spend, so that, I use a lot of analogies here, but if you think about Steve Rogers, AKA Captain America, his whole thing was, I could do this all day, right? So if you can acquire clients at a profit over and over and over again, then guess what? You can dominate a market, or you can dominate your area, or you can survive, and you can live stress-free. You have other stressors, but you can at least take care of the bills. You can at least take care of like the business is running and humming, right? Yeah. So that to me is my passion, is like helping businesses really master the art of paid advertising. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so fun to have an impact on businesses, and just be, I love working with small businesses as well, because you make such a big impact with just even small steps where, and it's awesome. I love it. So that's great. Okay. So let's see. Oh, what are 1 or 2 tips that you have for people who are running Facebook ads or working with clients? So it could be like an ad tip or working with client tip. I'll give you both. So going back to 1992, I had no clue what a lap chole was. A laparoscopic cholecystectomy is basically gallbladder removal. Dr. Aaron Ruhalter was the person teaching us. The company I was working for, Dr. Ruhalter was the person that taught us all the anatomy and physiology and how to do the procedure, because we had to explain that to the physicians in describing how we used our equipment. And he said, if you want to be the best doctor out there, you have to have an iron, excuse the vernacular, ass. You have to sit in the chair and read. So when you're talking about advertising, you have to understand it's not just targeting a geographic area and picking somebody's age and all these demographics. You have to get in the mind of the actual client, the mind of the person that you're trying to attract. So reading things like, the Gary Halbert letters, you going back to the masters, reading the Dan Kennedy stuff, where did they get this from? They got them from Eugene Schwartz. You probably see me in the group promote that book. Breakthrough Advertising. And that's a book. It's like a $200 book. It ain't cheap. But guess what? There's a lot of nuggets in there. It was, because it's out of print, it was one of the most highly stolen books out of the library because it had all those basic principles. So find books on copywriting, find things, but study it, but implement. Don't just study and be a professional student, but implement. So, you got to understand the continuum is not just, here's my widget, buy it. Facebook is a platform. It's an interruptive platform. We're interrupting people that are going on there for social and fun and all that stuff. And we're saying, hey, by the way, let me get your attention and get you in front of my offer. But Google AdWords is straight up somebody saying, hey, I have a broken window. I'm going to Google and find a glass repair near me. So you have to understand the platforms are different, and you have to understand that the messaging is different on how you attract somebody. Facebook is a long game, but you can make into a very short game. Google is a short game because you're trying to get their attention, but you will pay higher cost on Google because guess what? So everybody else is trying to also go after that 3% of the market that's in market today.
Yeah, exactly. That is great tips. Just really kind of understanding copywriting, understanding the platform differentiation between those things, because that's huge. That's awesome.
Did you know, I'm going to throw a stat at you real quick for everybody out there. At any point in time, 3% of the people are in market today. That means, hey, I have a need and I'm trying to scratch that itch right now. And so I'm in market. That's 3%. 40% of the people out there are not in market today. They're maybe in market anywhere between 30, 60, 90, 180 days or longer from now. Okay. And 56% of the market is not ever going to buy from you whatsoever. So if you add the numbers up, that's 99%. So it's not 100% because at any time, 1% is transitioning between any of those different areas. So that's why when you're playing the long game with the ads, it's build a presence, get awareness, pull them into your marketing system and your sales process, and then nurture and follow up. And that's why, you have to look at those numbers and understand where people are coming from. I'd rather have 50% of a 3% market. I'm sorry. I know it's peak. Do you want 50% of a 3% market, or do you want 10% of a 40% market?
Exactly. And, some people have a problem, but they don't even realize your solution is out there for that problem. So it's getting that awareness. Sometimes they're not searching for it because they don't know that, that you're the solution perhaps, or they don't even realize, they're not even aware that they actually have that problem and they need to deal with it. So yeah, love it. So you have been a part of my Facebook ads group for a long time. So I would love to find out what you find the most valuable piece out of being a part of that group. Because you're in there, you're commenting, you're connecting, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
I think, and you see the comments because people say, oh my God, there's so much help and value in this group. And you get back to people like, I'm only 1 hour behind you, but you got to that answer before me, darn it, that kind of a thing. So, but the thing is that the group that you have, you actually are very present in that group. And you do have a lot of newbies, you have a lot of experienced people, and anybody in between, right? So it's not anything, there's nobody, you're not excluded if you're a newbie, and you're not excluded if you're an experienced person. And what's really great about your group, there's nobody eating their young in there, because I go in other groups. There's another group called Something Ad Hacks, put the FB in front of it. And somebody says, I just got my news. And the first thing that somebody says, well, you better turn them over to somebody else what they're doing because you're brand new. And it's like, whoa, there's so much vileness in there that you don't have in your group. And your group is very, very nurturing. As a matter of fact, there was somebody in the group that we were DMing each other the other day. And she's like, oh my God, you've been a help. And I said, no problem.
Yeah. You are awesome. I would say you're an awesome asset to my group. So I'm so excited that you're a part of it, because you get an answer from Greg and it's about 5 paragraphs.
Usually preface it by saying, okay, warning, long answer coming. And you were to me one time, you're like, yep.
Oh yeah. Classic. So thank you for being such a fantastic part of the group. And just let people know where they can find you. I pulled up stuff to share with you, but share here in the comments.
I have a long and weird name. The company that I
Yeah.
made was called the Innovative Resource. Actually, it's Innovative Resource Group, but because
Yeah.
somebody already had that, I had to put the THE in front of it. So
Yeah.
the Innovative Resource Group is really a big phrase. You can find me, just follow me on Instagram. I mean, on Instagram too. You can find me at J Gregory Wright, my first initial, my whole name. On Twitter, as well as on for Instagram, as well as on LinkedIn.
Okay, awesome. And here's Greg's Facebook group. And thank you, Jenny. Jenny's like, you're so nice. Thank you. And then we'll put your link to your website in there, but definitely connect with Greg. He is awesome. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom with us. And yeah, if anyone has any comments, questions for Greg just put them in the comments and we'll get you connected. So
I'll let you guys know that you were the one that got me started. So you were one of the first 3 that had got me, but it was mainly, when I say you and Phyllis, because it was social media manager school. Because I was like going, yeah, I could do this, and it was really you guys that got me on the path of where I am now.
Yeah, and that's the thing I love about like where we are now is that you know there's so much that's possible. You can start a business like totally from scratch. You're pivoting, you're changing your focus sometimes a little bit, or maybe not, or adding it to, like you said, you've got your business on the, medical business that's still going, and you've got some, an extra income stream. So I love it. It's so great. So awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Greg. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.